Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the President's Medal Ceremony in honor of Sandra Green, Mayor of the Borough of Kutztown. I'm Matt Santos from the Division of Communications, Marketing, and External Affairs, and I will serve as moderator for this evening's festivities. I want to begin by recognizing a few special guests we have with us this evening. One of our hosts, the First Lady of Kutztown University, Anne-Marie Hayes Hawkinson. Anne-Marie. Representing the Kutztown University Council of Trustees, we have Mr. Robert Grimm and Mr. Jack Wabi. Representing the President's Cabinet, Dr. N. Zayats, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. And Mr. Jerry Silberman, Vice President for Administration and Finance. Mr. Alex Ojika, Executive Director of the KU Foundation and Alumni Relations. Alex. And also we have the newly elected Mayor of the Borough of Kutztown, Jim Schlegel. Jim. Our honoree this evening, Mayor Sandra Green, has served as the Mayor of the Borough of Kutztown since 2005. She is the first woman to hold the position. Part of Sandy's mission as mayor was to be the liaison between the borough and the university. During her tenure, she made great strides with town-gown relations. Under Sandy's leadership, the borough achieved Main Street status with the Pennsylvania Downtown Center and the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. Sandy has served on the board of the Pennsylvania Municipal League and the Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Board. She volunteers as the Vice President of the Kutztown Community Partnership, a community-driven nonprofit organization dedicated to the economic revitalization and preservation of Kutztown. Sandy also serves on the Community Relations Advisory Board, which she co-founded with President Hawkinson. Sandy is a lifelong resident of the Kutztown area, a graduate of Kutztown Area High School and Reading Area Community College. She operates Berkeley Travel, her own business in the borough. After 12 years in the seat, Sandy will step down as mayor at the end of the month. As we honor Sandy tonight, we will hear from some important people who have had the honor and privilege of working with her through the years. Our first speaker tonight serves as the manager of the Borough of Kutztown. Please welcome Gabriel Khalif.
The Borough Code identifies the mayor's role, and one of her major responsibilities is that of overlooking the police department. But over Sandy's 12 years, I think she's really elevated the word unity and the word community. She really brought the university closer to the borough. She's brought the merchants closer to the borough. She's brought the students, KCP, through Kubach, through a lot of different venues, and always had unity in her theme. And I believe that's one of her major strengths, that she's helped the borough, my office, staff, and the residents of Kutztown to have a stronger unity and put a strong meaning to the word community. Kutztown really relishes community, and you see it all over, in the library, on Main Street, and now with the university, her work with Kutztown University. It just made, I believe, the work of the borough a lot easier in having a positive relationship with not only the administration, but the students. And I just congratulate her over the 12 years, taking that effort and moving on to other areas of borough responsibility, not just what was outlined in the Borough Code. And that takes a lot of energy, a lot of meetings, a lot of commitment, and the pay wasn't what she did it for. I can assure you of that. We won't go into the small stipend that Mr. Jim Schlegel will experience come January 1. It's a lot of energy, and that unity, I believe she just enhanced in the word community that the Borough of Kutztown really relishes. And you see it all over. And then it's not just with the university, it's with the downtown. It's with the business and again, the residents. The service, she always made sure if somebody came to her with a service complaint or somebody who said something positive, she would always relay it to the borough and borough council And she always didn't look for negatives. She came up with positives, and that's what her attitude has been. And I think that's why Unity has stuck so strong with her over the past 12 years. So congratulations. Look forward to continue to work with you in a different capacity. And the relations with the university, I'm sure, will continue to go with the platform you've established over the 12 years. But thank you.
Thank you, Gabriel. Our next guest will be speaking on behalf of the Kutztown Community Partnership as its president. He is also Kutztown University's Associate Dean for Inclusion and Outreach. Please welcome Jerry Shearer.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you all for coming this evening. I'd like to thank and also recognize the other KCP board members here, the whole crowd in the back corner there. They are here to support the mayor, Sandy, as she has supported us. Not just supported KCP, but began KCP in her living room many years ago. I first met Sandy when I was doing Connections, our freshman orientation, and she would come in and speak to the parents, sometimes the students, and you could really tell that she, even before I knew Sandy as a person, like I was a new staff member and coming in and talking, that she loved Kutztown. And she wanted the best experience for the students that were here for their short time to be a good one here at Kutztown. And the way she did that was being everywhere. I started volunteering at Kubach, Sandy was there. Started doing other things, Sandy was there. You can say that she got involved all over the place. And Kutztown is better for it. Our students' experience are better for it. The borough is much better for it. And we couldn't have, when I came on as president last year, I was like, Sandy, come back as vice president. She had been off the board for a year. We have term limits, but that didn't mean anything before. We started enforcing term limits. She had to be off the board for a year. And when I came back as president, I asked her to become as vice president, and she did that, and she's done an astounding job. I had the pleasure of going with her to the International Town Gown Association in Oregon, conference in Oregon this past summer, and we came back with some great ideas, implemented some of them, and some I think we still have to work on, but we'll get there. But in the whole time she was there, like she talked to, like Kutztown was the biggest city in the world. Like, the people there thought Kutztown was just this huge place and the best place to be on earth, and so I'm surprised some of them haven't already moved here. So Sandy, for your work with Kutztown Community Partnership, for your work for the university, we appreciate you, and you deserve this honor much more than anything you said. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Our next guest is State Senator for the 11th Senatorial District, the district that encompasses the borough of Kutztown and the KU campus. She is also a member of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education Board of Governors. Please welcome State Senator Judy Schwenk.
Thank you, Matt, and good evening, everybody. It's really an honor to be here for my friend, Sandy Green. I met Sandy back when I started serving as a county commissioner. And ever since then, we've had a very close relationship as women leaders in government. And I just found Sandy to be just a wonderful public servant, someone who has done so much for her community. And you know what? We all ought to be thankful for people like Sandy, the individuals in local government who really are unsung heroes. They do an awful lot of work for very little pay and many hours, but they do it out of love for their community. And I think no one epitomizes that more than Sandy does. Everything I think she had done was out of love for her community. Mayors, as Khalil had related to us, have a very unique role. They have to develop a budget, they have to hire personnel. They're usually in charge of the police department too. I see the chief is here as well. And a very critical function that they have is working cooperatively with the town council, right? They have to be able to get along with the other elected officials in the community as well. And it takes a unique individual to be able to do that, to kind of smooth over some of the bumps and work out some of the kinks in the relationships and the issues that come up. Sandy, of course, did an excellent job of that. And in addition to that, as a mayor, of course, you've got to be the town's chief cheerleader, right? And I think nobody is a better example of that than Sandy has been. Each mayor and each community, of course, is unique, but the municipality that hosts a university or a college has a very, very different kind of relationship and a special role to fill. They're the leaders that foster the relationship between the educational institution and the town. You know, town and gown is the term we often, hear it referred to, and it can be a negative or it can be a positive for a community. Sandy turned it into a positive in her 12 years as a mayor. And obviously, President Hawkinson recognized this, which is why today we're honoring Sandy, and he's bestowing this very special honor upon her. Mayor Green is a model for how a mayor should interact with a college or university. She's taken a proactive approach to hosting Kutztown University. Sandy saw the economic, cultural, and social benefits that students, faculty, and staff bring to her community rather than the drawbacks. Not that she didn't face those head on either. One experience I have to relate to you is Sandy one time said to me, "How would you like to come out on St. Patrick's Day and see what happens in the town?" And I said, "Sure." I thought we'd be maybe going out like 9 o'clock at night. No, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I asked Sandy about it. She says, no, this is when things get started. This is when all the action happens. And so we're walking around. It was freezing. And we're walking through town. Of course, she and the other community volunteers had St. Patrick's gala, attire on. So they just kind of fit in with the community. And that's exactly what you did, Sandy. You fit in with the community. You saw innovative ways of helping to, one, foster a better relationship with the university. But I think also that what was there was her caring and love for the students. I don't think you would have done some of the things that you had done had you not seen them as such a positive force in our community, enlivening our town and, adding so much to the quality of life that we have. So Sandy, has been involved in many, many different projects, everything from recycling to economic development. We've had many meetings in Harrisburg talking about projects that she was really trying to help foster to make this town continue to grow. And she did a wonderful, wonderful job. Innovative in her approach, but, doing her duties with that caring attitude, working to ensure the safety of the students, the well-being of the residents. She never lost sight of, how you make that balance work. Sandy, my hat is off to you for the work that you have done. I think you know how I feel about our relationship. Another interesting fact I have to say, we were both guest percussionists with a rock band one time. We both played the tambourine. That's the kind of individual she is. I had to be dragged up there, but she jumped up there. She was ready to get into the role, and nothing that she would not do to help foster more positive relationships, to be a part of the community that she loves so well. And so, Sandy, we're fortunate that we had you in the role of mayor for 12 years. I hope that this is not the end of your political career. You should not be an unsung hero any longer. You really need to continue to stay involved. You have so much to offer. But whatever, I will always be proud and pleased that I had the opportunity to work with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Schwenk. I certainly echo the sentiments of tonight's speakers. I have had the opportunity to work with Sandy many times over the past 12 years. Early on, we had to work together to overcome some of the biggest challenges in the history of the borough and the university. But more so, I will remember her positive attitude, her visibility, and her willingness to cooperate and knock down obstacles as a lasting legacy. So thank you, Sandy. On to our presentation. Here to present the 6th Kutztown University President's Medal is our gracious host, the President of Kutztown University, Dr. Kenneth S. Hawkinson.
Thank you, Matt. I'm just delighted to see so many of you come out tonight so that we can recognize Mayor Sandy Green. We've been listening to the prior speakers talk about her dedication to serving her community and to her tireless work ethic. Sandy is someone who does not know the meaning of impossible task, who does not know the meaning of lunch break, who does not understand the word enough, and who does not understand the meaning of the word no. So today, along with her President's Medal, I am going to give her a dictionary so that in the future she can look up these words and understand the meaning of no. Okay. In 2014, the President's Medal was created by the President's Office of Kutztown University to be awarded to individuals who bring honor and distinction to our institution and who serve as examples to our students, alumni, and university community. Past recipients of the medal include William Ribble, class of '73, a longtime member of the KU Foundation Board, KU Pro Football Hall of Famer Andre Reed, class of 2005, Major League Baseball All-Star and two-time World Series champion Ryan Vogelsong, Gregory Doc Jones, longtime head coach of the KU men's rugby team, and most recently, last spring, Dr. Carlson Chambliss, long-serving KU professor, philanthropist, and scholar. Sandy is the first medal recipient who is not an alum or an employee of the university. You'll notice she's also the first woman to be presented with this award. I will now present the sixth President's Medal to an individual who has made a lasting impact on the Kutztown community and university. Mayor Green, would you please come forward and just stand to my right? Sandy epitomizes the meaning of the President's Medal through her dedication to the community and support for community-university relations throughout her time in office. She is the ultimate professional, extraordinarily competent, a kind and caring leader who is an inspiration to others. Sandy and Martin were among the first people Anne Marie and I met in Kutztown when they took us to dinner on a visit to meet, when we came to visit to meet with trustees and the transition team. Their graciousness continues to this day, and we work together not only out of mutual interest of serving our communities, but also out of friendship. Indeed, we met regularly the last 2.5 years, and she agreed to help me form a town gown advisory group that provided a forum where we can talk about mutual interests and concerns. Sandy has spent countless hours attending events on campus, speaking to our students, and providing to me counsel and advice. It is said time is so powerful that it is given to us in only small doses, but those doses add up. And we understand that the time has come for Sandy to devote her time and attention to new pursuits. But it is important to pause and reflect at these times and to honor someone such as she, who has given so much to our community and university. Now, many years ago, I heard a wonderful formula that had to do with community. And that formula was values and space equals place. Values and space equals place. To simply occupy space leads to a very unfulfilling life. But if you inject values into that space, you now have a place, a home, a place that leads to joy and happiness throughout your career and throughout your life. What Sandy Green has done in this community, both the Kutztown community and the university community, was to create a place, a home, for many, many people, and many generations of people will benefit from the place that she has created. So it is now my honor and privilege, as a token of our appreciation for all of her contributions, to recognize Sandy Green with one of the highest honors of Kutztown University. Mayor Green, I present you with the prestigious Kutztown University President's Medal.
greatly humbled and honored to be this year's recipient of the university's President's Medal. I'd like to offer my sincerest gratitude to Dr. Kenneth Hawkinson, Anne Marie Hayes Hawkinson, the Council of Trustees, the administration and staff of Kutztown University for this honor. Thank all of you for your kind words. I am blessed to call you my friends, and I'm grateful for all your support for the past 12 years. It seems like yesterday when I announced my candidacy for mayor of the borough of Kutztown. I knew our town was in need of new leadership. I had the passion and greater expectations for Kutztown and realized that running for mayor was an opportunity to enhance town and gown relations through effective communications and improve the quality of life for residents and the community. With the support of my family, friends, and community members, on Tuesday, November 8th, 2005, I was elected the first female mayor of the borough of Kutztown. The day after the election, my son Jason, who's here tonight, posted on his blog site called Beer Leaguer. He wrote about the Phillies every day, but he made an exception this time. He posted on his blog site his take on the election. In that post, he wrote, "Mom is the hardest working person I know. I couldn't be prouder. Speaking from experience, she did an awesome job whipping me into shape. Now it's Kutztown's turn." My work ethic comes from my father. He was the hardest working farmer I knew. He would always say to me, if you're going to do a job, you do it right or you don't do it at all. And my volunteerism and community university spirit is very much like my father-in-law, Samuel Smith. Sam's passion for the community and university was evident in his involvement with the Kutztown Area School District School Board, KU Foundation, Community Library, and co-chair of the borough's sesquicentennial. Jason also posted on this blog, "Kutztown has a reason to be excited this morning. Voters have spoken. They wanted positive change, and they got it." I'm going to go off the cuff at this point. I have all this other stuff written here, but honestly, the words that were spoken earlier were amazing, and I thank all of you for that. I do want to acknowledge folks that I have here in the audience. First of all, Chief Summers. When I started as mayor of Kutztown, the morale of our police department was down, and it was necessary that we move forward. We hired Chief Summers, and it was an interview like no other. And he will tell you, he came into a room of a panel with residents of the community. University was present, business owners. There were a lot of people in that room. University was present for that interview. That was so important to me that the university had input for that interview. We are so blessed to have Chief Summers as chief of Kutztown and leading a great department. The morale is so high, we can't be proud of our police department. I always say it's Kutztown's finest. Every time I see the car, I say, there goes Kutztown's finest. So thank you, Chief Summers, for supporting me through my time as mayor. Jim Schlegel, mayor-elect. The words to you are just, enjoy this town, be passionate like I'm passionate, and lead from the heart. I know you will. You love this town like I love this town. And it is important to lead with your passion and your heart. You're going to do a great job. And I'm here to support whatever I can for you. So thank you, and good luck to you. We have members of KCP. Jerry mentioned the board members here. But I want to have a special thank you to those KCP board members that have volunteered their services through many, many years. It did start in my living room, and sometimes those meetings ended up until midnight. You know, people got so comfortable in my living room, they would take off their shoes and put their feet underneath my carpet. I didn't get it, but they felt comfortable. It was those working relationships through all that time that KCP is thriving and moving forward and looking at economic development. And it's really great that the borough and KCP have that in their 2018 budget, to look at the economic development of our downtown, the housing, and other things that are happening in our downtown. And it's good that the borough and KCP are on the same page for that, for that planning. My friends, Joe and Di Piscatelli, I can't thank you enough for what you have done for this community. And for me, the support you have given me for 12 years. And your kitchen stool. When I need someone to talk to, I can always depend on Di to pull out her kitchen stool and let me sit there. Your commitment, your tireless commitment to this community is amazing. I tried to talk Joe or Di to run for mayor, but they're just going to go ahead and continue to do their job as a great support system for our community. And now, the most important. Now this one I'm going to go back to reading because I may not make it through this. I'm also blessed with an amazing, supportive, and loving family. My husband, Martin, when I told him I was going to run for mayor, he had reservations about me running. He didn't think my skin was thick enough. He said, "Oh, I don't know." But on the other end of that dining room table was my son, Jason, and my daughter-in-law, Mary Beth, who went, "Go for it, go for it." So it was a struggle, but I decided it was time to run for mayor of this town and create new leadership. He was a great support. I went to so many meetings. He made so many dinners by himself. But we worked through it, and I am so thankful for what he has done for my 12 years. Jason and Mary Beth, my family, for all their support. And my grandsons, Penn and Orson. Kutztown knows Penn and Orson as well as Penn and Orson know Kutztown. Let me tell you, we went to a basketball game last Tuesday at Jefferson University. It was Kutztown University against Jefferson University. Mary Beth works at Jefferson University. So who are we going to root for? Martin says we're going to clap like this. Penn, every time KU made a basket, he would go, "Yes, yes." So Kutztown is in these, is part of the grandchildren. Penn grew up knowing the chicken clock. He loved the chicken clock. Orson comes running to me all the time and says, "Mimi, I love you with all my heart." And he knows Kutztown as well, and people here in Kutztown know him as well. Dr. Hawkinson. I'm going to read again. My every 8 to 10 weeks luncheon meeting with Dr. Hawkinson. Now that is town and gown relationships at its best. It's our Caesar salad every 8 to 10 weeks. From day one, Dr. Hawkinson and Anne-Marie have taken the initiative to learn about and become involved with the borough community. Such things as suggesting the newly formed Community Relations Advisory Board, participating in the borough's bicentennial celebration, walking a late night shift with Kubak, or early morning shift on Kutz Patty's Day. He has set the bar high for increased communication and cohesion with those of us leading the borough. I want to thank you for all you do for this community. You really have stepped up and have done an amazing job as president of this university, and I really enjoy working with you. Did I whip Kutztown into shape? As Jason said, I whipped him into shape. I think I did a pretty good job, but I couldn't have done it without family, friends, community, and university support. Again, I want to say how extremely honored I am to be the recipient of this Kutztown University's Presidential Medal. Thank you, and thank you all for all your support.